This is Cody Crater, one-on-one evaluation. Cody, first thing I'm going to have you do is stand right over here. I want to talk through what I see, okay? We've talked about the fact that in the game of football you need your feet up and under you for balance, for mobility, leverage, power, all the things that matter. A normal stance, you're going to have your feet a little wider than the shoulders for a good solid base. A snapping stance might go 4 to 6 to 8 inches wider than that because we just need more clearance between the legs so we don't encounter any resistance as we throw the ball, right? Yeah. Okay. In your case, I know you like to get a little wider than the average bear. I think you're getting a little too wide. And if you do get that wide, number one, it's hard to sit in the stance, so you could end up with a high center of gravity. Or you could end up, if you do sit into it like you do, with a lot of tension in the hip flexors. That's going to tighten you up and slow down the overall motion. You're going to have to fight through that resistance, okay? The third thing is, believe it or not, the wider you get, even if you do drive well with the legs, the harder it's going to be to channel it back into the hips and towards your target, all right? The fourth thing is, being that wide at the finish, you're going to lack mobility. You're going to get beat. And the fifth thing is, it's ending up with locked knees because your feet are so wide is a quick path to a short career in the game of football. So I want to get those feet up and under you a little bit. And in the process, I think we said let's bring the heels in a little bit. That'll point the toes out slightly, give you a real stable base. Also, when you sit down into it, you can push the knees out over the toes and give yourself more operating room without necessarily widening the feet. Go ahead and set up over the ball, facing the camera. Let's see what your stance looks like right now. Get that ball out of your way. That's wider than average, as long as there's not tension here, and as long as the load bearing's on the quads, and when I see it from the side, as long as we're generating drive into your hips and towards the target, I'm not going to make a big deal of it, okay? Okay. I think you'd be better so just a little bit. Yeah, that's all we're asking for. Set up now, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, does that feel comfortable? Now you could always relax the knees inward a touch too if you get better load bearing on the quad. Go ahead and stand up. Step over here for me one more time. Right over here. Okay. The other thing we had coming in is you like to put that ball way out in front of you, overextended downfield. What that tends to do is pull too much weight forward in your stance. Okay? And as a compensation for that, what you're doing is hunkering back into the hips and crunching down the legs way beyond 90 degrees of knee bend, which is not an efficient, powerful place to start. So you're sitting way back and you're overstretched. Net effect, you're overstretched on the field because of the overextension downfield. You're hunkering back. It's also leaving you basically sitting on your heels. And number one, you can't win any battles on your heels in football. And number two, when you do drive the legs, the only way from the heels to drive is straight vertically. When we need that leg drive to be back in the hips towards the target so it can converge with the energy traveling down the spine in an arrow point, and all of the energy is combined and contributes to accelerating the football. A vertical leg drive will not only, you'll miss the lower body leg drive energy, but it'll T-bone the upper body energy, so you're cutting your power off in two directions. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. Okay. Now, the leg drive is a little too vertical because of that. It's like doing a hack squat. And then finally, your left hand. I'd like you to strengthen it on the ball. What I mean by that is increase the pressure with the fingertips just enough to hold and control it so that we can actually throw and control the ball with two hands better. All right? On the overstretched position, hunkered back, what we need to do is take your head to tail platform, elevate it higher off the ground by unbending the arms, or unbending the knees, I'm sorry. That'll move us further vertically from the ball, which means you'll be able to bring the ball a little closer but still preserve a good arm extension. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then we want to shift your weight around and settle you into the stance until we get the knees right over the toes for optimal balance. That's what we're working on. Go ahead and sit. First thing I'm going to do is step you. You ready? Yes. Okay, I'm going to pull you forward. That gets knee bend to 90 or less, straightens the back and extends the arms. I'm going to raise you up, maximizing operating room under your torso. Then I'm going to push you back into the hips towards your target till the heels touch the ground, knees are over the toes, you're solid on your feet. Now lift the ball off the ground for a second. Make sure you don't have to shift weight, set it down. That's pretty optimal. Give it a good hard two-handed throw. How'd it feel? Good. Okay, we had you down a long time, but that was still a darn good snap. When you set up right, everything goes where it should. A perfect setup will lead to a perfect snap. Let's do one more. Okay, I'm going to do it faster. 1, 2, 3. Push against my hand slightly. Now relax it. Give it a throw. How'd it feel?
Better.
Awesome. Okay. Now, how do you do that without the 3-step? Let's take a look. I like the stance width right there. Coming in, you were overextended, so you were hunkering down flat-footed to counterbalance. I took the head-to-tail platform, raised it up, shifted you forward to get the knees over the toes, and notice I brought you, which kept you from being overextended. So it's a raise up and shift forward to the knees over toes. Give it a throw. That looks awesome. How's it feel?
Feels good.
Got any questions?
Not really.
You're looking good. Let's rotate you back and get Andrew filmed. Okay, here we go. Cody Crater. Okay, we raised up the head-to-tail platform a bit, shifted the weight forward to get the knees over the toes, and moved you closer to the ball to relieve the overextension. Good explosive throw, Cody. How'd it feel? Go. Okay, so I raised you up a little, shifted weight to get you better balance, move you closer to the ball for less arm overextension. Throw it hard, Cody. Feel good?